Hey everybody! We're going to start up the Git lesson now. It's me again. I'm Adam.
And I'm your TA again, Alex Vicenzio.
Awesome.
Are we on OBS?
So yes, we are.
Good.
So right now we are on the Git download page. I know most of you have it. I'm going to really quickly click through for those who don't have it. Just feel free to watch. So I went to the Git site. You can find it on the. Are you there already? Do you need it?
Yeah.
So you
installed
boot their little exe that you download because our internet's godly right now. And here we are. You hit next. And so for all these are fine. I just, default's good. Hold on, I do have Git on here already, good. Just check. So you next. I would highly suggest saying use Git from Git bash only for the sake of, compartmentalizing it. And I choose the first option, I choose the first option, I choose this option, and then you hit install. Like, literally just keep hitting next, and you're fine for this tutorial. I'm going to hit cancel because I already have it. You'll go through install. Is that Chris?
Oh, hi, Chris. Do you want to learn Git as well?
Yeah. Awesome. So
Get
make
set
sure
up.
you get installed. And so now, really quick. Oh, shoot. I just almost closed OBS. Okay, close the volume mixer, close this, close all the Unreal Engine stuff. Cool. All right, everyone with me? All right.
Like 2 seconds.
All right, I'm going to give you, you have a solid 60 seconds to a minute. All right. I'm going to stare at my phone.
2 minutes.
Checking my keyboard notifications I haven't looked at, even though Alex is right there.
Yeah, there's going to be a time, so Final Project is going to be the 12-person project, so I had to use Git.
All right. Everyone good? Need more time? Good? Good in the back? Loading? You have another. You have until 56. 25 seconds remaining.
No pressure. 3 other English people will be like that in front of your
Tabor!
He made it.
What?
Awesome. One of the members of the Fugu team will learn Git.
Oh!
Yay! I have learned Git since.
Good.
Because you were like, this is great. You learned so much.
Yes.
Yeah, you missed swipes.
All right. It's 56. We're getting started. Hello. All right. Ready?
Just starting Git.
I need to get started. So I only have like 45 minutes, not even at this point. So welcome to Git. To raise your hand if you have no idea what the hell Git is. It's okay, don't be shy, it's fine. That's what this is for. Awesome. Raise your hand if you kind of know what Git is, but you've never used it before. I suspect that's most people. All right, awesome. In short, Git is what's called version control software. In other layman's terms, Git is how you can send code somewhere else to be stored. And then every time you make changes, you just send up the changes to the code. So for example, if you have 100 files, right? 100 text files, or say, you're programming. You have 100 files, you only change one of them. Why should you have to say you wanted a backup? Why would you have to copy all 100 files again if you only change one? So Git lets you effectively control this, and also lets multiple people add contributions to the same project. And that's how things like open source projects like Dolphin are used on Git. And really almost all team-based software uses some version of this, but we'll be going over Git because it's free and very widely known. So how many of you have heard of Git, have also heard of GitHub? How many of you think they're the same thing? Or are at least very, very related? They are not. GitHub is a specific website where you can host these, what are called Git repositories. So GitHub will host your code for you, and will be a place for you to send your code so it's somewhere that's not just locally on your machine. So we're going to go over to GitHub really quick right now. So type github.com right now. I'm going to sign into my personal account. All right, so I know you don't have this. You're going to want to make an account. I would highly recommend making an account with your Stevens ID because there's a lot of cool things they give you for having an educational ID. Oh, what?
It doesn't have to be on your existing account.
Oh, really? Okay. So I'd highly recommend making an account really quick because it'll be very important to what we're doing next.
If anyone needs help making an account,
Yeah,
let's
so
go.
really quick, just go hit sign up. It's your typical, I'm sure you've all signed up for services on websites before.
Oh, look, there's my face.
Whoa, it's Alex. He added the tilde PR command.
Yeah. Except, no, I added additional. And if anyone's having trouble installing Git or having trouble making an account at GitHub,
Alright,
I'm here.
so anyone not, who's done? Raise your hand.
I'm pretty sure most people
We're
still.
good? Alright, excellent.
No, I'm pretty sure most people still like making accounts and stuff.
Yeah, so who has an account is on the home page and it's good to go. Alright, I'm gonna keep going, so because I really don't have enough time. So if you're falling behind, just please follow on the screen. So for now, I'm gonna go to my profile. Look at my cute profile picture, it's great. But I'm going to go to repositories, the middle tab, and make a new one. So I'm gonna make a new repository. I'm gonna name it LearnGem 2016. I'm not gonna give it a description, it's gonna be public, and I'm just gonna do nothing, right? Just give it a name, and I'm hitting create repository. Bam. Now I should have github.com/myusername/learngem2016. You have all these stuff, all these things. So it's worth noting I'm going to be using the command line, which I understand is scary to some people. It's a lot faster and actually easier to use than some of the other options they give you, though there do exist GUI, solutions to this as well. I'm going to be showing you because I think it's important to have a basic understanding of what's going on here. So, everyone have their repository, LearnGem 2016, or whatever you want to name it? Yeah? Alright, Alex will go around and talk to you. Don't. Excuse me. Okay, so, we're going to click away. We're going to go into your local, go to your My Documents site. I'm going to make a new folder, do that however you will. I presume that's different on Mac and Windows. I'm going to go to new folder. Let's just say LearnGem 2016 Git. I'm going to open it. And the first thing we're going to do is make a Readme file. So I'm going to make a new text file. Call it readme.txt. GitHub actually looks for the word readme specifically. Yes.
You initialize without a readme, right?
Yes, I did. I initialized with nothing. So GitHub usually looks for readme. So we're going to go in. You can type whatever you want. I'm going to type. Whatever you want. That's my readme. I literally just did that. Save it, close it. And now we have to connect what's locally on our computer to this GitHub repository magically on someone's server somewhere. So how do we do that? Everyone good with their readme? Alright, cool. Feel free to tell me slow down. What we're going to do is we're going to go back up. We're going to right click the folder we just made. And assuming you did everything default, you should have a new option here that says Git Bash here. For Mac, I'm not actually
I'm running Windows right now.
Okay, good. Yeah, sorry, I was like, I don't know how to do that on
Yeah,
Mac.
I drove.
There's a short, you'd probably be able to run it and then navigate to that folder, but it's easier to be able to just start there. So you right click and you hit Git Bash here. You click it, you get a fancy looking command line window.
Also, just something to note, you should have, at the very end of the line, you see how it says LearnGem 2016, all that stuff, that should be the name of your folder if you did right.
So is everyone here in this weird green looking command line window? Alright, who's scared of command line windows? Be honest, it's okay. Alright, now who are the people who just raised their hand are engineers, not computer scientists? Who's a computer scientist and raised their hand? Interesting.
Definition of masochism.
Anyway, sorry, just a little interesting. So we have our fancy command line. Ignore what I just typed. I was just having fun. So we are now, think of us as being inside our folder in this fancy command line. All of the commands we use that pertain to Git are prefixed with the word Git. I think that makes sense. So the first thing we want to do is make Git understand that we are going to be using and tracking this folder. So we type the command git space init, which is short for initialize. So hit enter, and it should tell you initialize empty Git repository in your folder. Did that happen? Yes? No problem so far? Awesome. Let me know if you start seeing error messages or anything. So right now, click out of that and go over to your folder. You should see if you have view invisible folder, like view hidden folders checked in your browser, which you may or may not. There exists now this .git folder. You never have to go in here. Don't worry about it. But this existing means that Git is now being tracked in this folder. Sound good? We're still not connected. You'll notice the thing still has no idea how, what anything is, where this magical GitHub repository is, etc. So the next thing we're going to do is connect. Actually, you guys are going to have to set your names. Shit. They're going to have to set, Git remote add username or something. So
Maybe. Well, we'll see.
So first
They
things,
won't have to do that until they have to push. They technically don't have to.
they'll have to do that when they commit.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So we can say that for later.
We'll say that when we get to it. So ignore that for now. You're going to have to do some configuration stuff because we all just installed. But that's fine. We'll get to that when we get to it. Next up, we're going to, to explain this in simple terms, we're going to now tell Git where our GitHub site is. We're going to make it understand that, hey, when I tell you to push or send the changes somewhere, you're sending it to GitHub. You're sending it to a specific place. The command for that is, follow along closely, git remote, as in remote because it's not on our system, add origin. So it is adding the place we are sending our code to. And then we're going to enter the web address. In my case, it's https://github.com/your username, and then I named mine LearnJam2016. Like that.
Do you have to do the .git thing?
You can, you don't actually have to. And you should enter, and if you did it right, it should literally just pop up as if nothing happened. You'll get no output, but it'll be done. Let me know when everyone's done that much. Give me like a thumbs up when you're done. All right. Still waiting on speakers, right? Assuming you named your repository LearnJam2016. Everyone good? Yeah? Anyone not good? We're moving on. I need to go. So, we've basically now told that once all is said and done, Git will do its best, will send your code off to GitHub. So we've now connected them. The reason GitHub usually gets linked with Git is because a lot of people do exactly this. Though notice we could set this link here to any site that was configured to accept Git as, to send files. So there's Bitlock or something. Bitbucket. There's GitLab. There's a ton of other sites that all do the same thing. GitHub is just one of the best known, also free. So that is the gist. So now that we've done that, we need to actually tell Git what the heck we're doing. We need to tell it what files we have and tell it, our initial change. So for this, you type, the simplest command is you want to add probably everything in your folder to Git. So that's the basic assumption. There's a lot of fancy things you can do with that, but what we're going to do is we're going to type git add, and then we're going to do -a, which means all. We're going to add every single thing in the Git folder, excluding the Git folder itself, to Git. So you hit enter. And again, it looks like nothing happened. Everyone good? Yeah.
Can you do the same exact thing, just use the star?
You can use the star. -a actually supposedly catches more than star does, even though you'd think star would catch everything.
Good to know.
I use dot. Git add dot. That's
Also,
the way.
yeah, there's a bunch of ways
yeah,
to do like every single thing. -a is the formal way to say get everything.
Start using that.
That is, I used to use star, and then I was told to use -a, and that's what I use, and who knows. Dot seems the easiest. But
Speaking
anyway.
about getting everything,
What?
how can I check if I have added everything successfully?
That's a good question. How do you do that?
Git status.
Oh, okay. So there's git status.
You did slash.
I know, git status. You type that, right? And so you get this initial commit, which is because we haven't done anything yet, we're still on the first time, and it will now tell you all the changes we've made. So changes to be committed are that we have a new file, which is readme.txt. Everyone have that? Everyone's looked like that when you type git status? Yeah?
Also, if it's green like that, that means it's been added successfully. If it's red, that means it has not been added to the commit. So if new file readme.txt is red, that doesn't mean that, yeah. You see how there's a red file there now?
It says untracked.
That means it's not added to what you're going to be sending to the server. If
All
that
good?
makes sense.
Is anyone totally lost right now? It's okay, be honest. Alright, good. I think Alright, so far so good. Basically, Git is looking at our README file, and it's not looking at that copy that I'm about to delete anyway. Bam, gone. We check again, and now there's just the README file added. So it now knows of the existence of our README file, but now we have to actually tell it to save it.
And we make this clear.
Right-click pop.
There we go.
There we go, that's more readable. Sorry about that. Thank you. Alright, so we're all in the same spot now. I'm going to mash the enter button a bunch. So, what we now have to do is called a commit. So say, your game works, right? You have your basic game, but you now added the super jump ability to your game. And you haven't since added anything. You add all your new files to Git, you want to make a new commit. Basically, commits come with, they do two things. They save a version of your project that you can always revert back to. That's the nice thing about Git, is that if you ruin everything, you can always just go back to when it worked. So commit is effectively a singular version, a snapshot at that point in time. So for example, you can do a git commit of added super jump. And now that would be everything up into and including super jump, but nothing past it. So, okay, we're going to do a commit. So the command is simply git commit. But there's more to it. You need to type -m and then add a message in quotes. So in this case, we're going to say first commit. Right? That look good to everybody? And now you're going to press the enter button, and we're going to get different results because none of you have configured. I'm going to hit enter, and mine worked. What does yours say when you hit git commit?
Please tell me who you are.
Yeah. So, Alex, can you do one of them and then tell me the commands you're typing, and I can parrot them up here? It tells you how to do it. Right. Okay. So you have to run two commands really quick. You're gonna be running git config --
It tells you exactly what to do.
I'm just gonna do it for you guys too. Just user.email quote your email address.com. Shit.
You remember?
Alright, we're back. I do it now. We're ready full seat.
Got it. Anyone having trouble? But yeah, you guys are gonna want to be using your GitHub.
The email address you use to sign up for GitHub would be preferable. It actually doesn't matter, fun fact, but because you're forced to log into GitHub when you push
Yeah, the
anyway,
username should be your GitHub username.
it actually doesn't matter.
It doesn't?
Because when you push, you
Oh,
get
yeah.
asked for your credentials. So this is just for its own internals.
Alright.
You can lie to it if you wanted. Your name could be Butts McGee. It doesn't matter. Why? You can redefine them just by running the command again, like I accidentally did.
No, I don't know. It tracks your contributions weirdly if it uses an SSH.
Right. That makes
Doesn't
sense.
know who you are.
So you want to use the same email as your GitHub account for the sake of not ruining things down the line. So is everyone good? Did everyone run these two commands?
Oh,
Everyone good? Anyone desperately need me to wait? Otherwise I'm going on.
yeah.
We're going on.
He doesn't need to edit to change it, right?
So now we're going to go back to that command you ran the first time, run it again. Git commit -m first commit. Bam. And mine said nothing to commit because I already did, but you should see this. Master, root commit, first commit, create mode, blah, 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 readme.txt.
If you do not see that, please.
Did anyone not see that? Did anyone get some sort of error upon trying to run commit?
Well, if you do in a bit, I'm here.
Alright, so next it's time to finally push our changes to GitHub. Sound good? We'll actually have done the thing. So, for that, you type git, so you want to push your changes up to the server, so the command is git push. Then you have to type origin master. So, the reason you have to type origin master is if you remember all the way back up, we said git remote add origin. So, it knows your Git's address by you telling it origin. You mapped it to origin. So, git push origin, and then the master branch is the main branch of your thing. We're not going to get into branching today. I'm sorry if that's what you came here for, if you know advanced Git. just too complicated to get into with no time. So
For all you care, master's the only branch that exists.
for now you care, there is one branch, there is one set of code, and it's the master branch. So you're going to push to origin, which is effectively your GitHub page, and its master branch. Then you hit enter. And now you'll get some pop-up that is effectively asking you for your GitHub credentials. So you're going to want to enter your email address and password. If you type them right, you should see everything go through. And I pushed all of 230 bytes to the server, and you see it all go through. Did everybody do, or give me a thumbs up when that's done.
Yeah. Once you guys have done it, do this.
We were supposed to get like a window that popped up where you like type in our.
Either, yeah, you have to type in your credentials.
Yeah, let me
So I didn't
explain.
get that window.
So what happened?
Is it?
Did it just go through?
Oh yeah, you're good. I think it's because they did the globe, or because when you were doing config global, it might just have automatically done that.
Who knows?
But yeah,
Regardless, you're good.
It pushed. Yeah, it sent it to.
It already knows your credentials
It
somehow.
said it wrote it, and then it said it sent it to the server. So you're good.
Oh.
You don't have to worry about that, I guess.
So for now, if you want to check that it worked, you can go back over to your web browser and go to your new thing and refresh. You should now see the thing different, and you will see your one file, readme.txt. Whoa. Okay. Yes. What's up? Oh, Alex. Notice mine says down here whatever you want. This is because GitHub will actually preview whatever file you name readme down here if it can. Usually .txt files or .markdown files. Markdowns are fancy. For the next lesson, I'm going to need a volunteer. Who wants to be my volunteer?
What does that entail?
I'm going to add you as a contributor to my GitHub repository. We're both going to push. It's not anything fancy. Just, do you want to do it? Can you do it?
I wasn't following along, so I don't know.
You don't need to.
I'll do it, sure.
You're on GitHub.
Yeah.
What's your username? Is it just rcopeland?
It's just Richard Copeland.
Full name, full?
Yep.
You've been invited to collaborate. So just run Git Clone
Yeah.
on the repository. It's Gincel or Jan 2016. Alright, so really quick, I'm going to show you guys one more command that's really useful. So say you and your friend want to work together on something, right? What I just did is I went to settings on GitHub and added someone as a collaborator. I added Richard. You don't have to go do that right now. But what then that person can do, they'll first need to get your Git stuff down onto their computer, right? So what they would do to start is they can do what's called Git Clone, which will literally clone effectively your folder onto their computer. So I'm actually going to give you all a link to one of my repositories, and we're going to clone it. Let's choose a simple one, a small one.
Just do your test one.
The test spot's actually, we're going to do the website. We're going to do, how about, actually, the bot framework, that's a good one. So ignore this for now. Like, don't even worry about what it is. But you're going to want to make yourself a new folder, maybe in your documents. Call it just to delete or something. All right? You should follow all this, is very useful. And then don't even bother going into it, but right click and say git bash here. So I'm now in a new folder. And instead of, git add, git commit, git push, git init, git remote at origin, we can skip all of that if the Git repository already exists and is already linked to someone else. So for that, we can just say git clone, and then I'm going to enter the link. And then you'll see that happen. So I'm going to type the command up here really quick. want that one. So if you type that, you should see a new folder get created. So has everyone who's following along done that? Give me a thumbs up.
You go back.
Yeah? Yeah? No? Maybe?
No, you go back to the text.
That?
Yeah.
So we've now, if you did it successfully, you should see a new folder within your to-delete folder called Telegram Bot Framework. Double click it, it already has a Git folder, it already has all the files. Very cool. This is now how you and someone else can both start pushing to the same GitHub repository, assuming you're added as a collaborator on that end. Alternatively, you can do what are called pull requests. We're not worried about that. So, say you wanted to pull down changes someone else made. You and your friend are both working on the same repository, the same game. They added some changes. You need them on your end before you can continue, right? So, in this case, we're going to emulate this by going back to your own repository. Go to your Learn Jam repository, whatever you called it. And GitHub actually lets you edit things server-side. You don't actually have to make the edits for certain things on your local machine to push them. So I'm going to click on readme.txt and hit the edit button in the top right, just to emulate someone else making a change. And I just added some text to my text file, right, making it different in some way. And then you can commit your changes immediately. And I'm just going to hit commit changes, and I did it, right? So right now I would cause problems if I tried to push new code to the thing, because I wouldn't have the latest build on my end. And so Git would tell me I have there are untracked changes the server has that I don't have. So it's important to make sure you have everything from the server before you continue. So you go into your thing. We're not using delete anymore. We're going back to our actual Git repository we made. And now, just like we did Git push origin master, we're going to do Git pull origin master to get the changes from the website. So I'm going to do Git pull origin master. And now you'll see a brick of text come out. And now, if I go into my Learn Jam folder, I go to my README, it has the change I made. And so that is how you push and pull to Git. So that's the gist. So the last thing I want to show you guys is as an example of me and Richard messing with the same repository. So Richard, have you accepted my invite?
Yeah, do you want me to push something?
Have you cloned the repository? You should push a second file, I think would be a good way to do it. Don't tell me what you're going to name it. And let me know when you've pushed.
Sure.
So what Richard and I are now both working on the same project. He now has a copy. He did what I just showed you guys. He cloned my repository. And now he's going to make changes once he has the latest versions and push them up. I can then pull them down, make my own changes, and push my changes up. And thus we are both working on the same folder on the same project without sending files to each other on a flash drive or through Skype or copy and pasting bricks of code. Taper. Sending snippets of code over Skype chat. As much of that team as I can get together, we'll be giving a talk in a week or two. Yeah, so you'll notice I went to settings, collaborators, and added someone by username. That is, and then they have to accept the invite, and that is how they become able to push code to your repository.
Sorry, what elements were you teaching right now?
Richard, you're good? Is it pushed?
Yep.
Richard has just added his own code.
Oh, so we're doing pulling.
We did a basic pull.
Okay.
And now we have two people working on the same thing. I added Richard to the repository, and he is now. So you'll notice there's a new file that I don't have. So I can again run Git pull origin master. And now I have a new file. I have an extra thing, .txt, that Git made for me by pulling it from the server and creating it. So you double click, it's a new file. Thank you. So now we can cause you can cause problems by pushing conflicting information, basically. Say he and I now both have the most up-to-date version, right? We both I change an extra thing to say X. He changes an extra thing to say Y. I push first. Then he tries to push. He had up-to-date info and made a valid change, but I made my change first. He pushes and he causes what's called a conflict. So first things first, Git will tell him, hey, I have newer info than you. I don't want your push. You need to pull down my changes first. Okay. He then tries to pull down the changes which directly conflict with the changes he made. Because his file says Y with his change, but my file said X, and it tries to change. That is called a Git conflict, or a merge conflict. Those have to be resolved by going into the file and then manually basically choosing what part of the file you want to keep. And that is how you merge. That is outside of the scope of today's lesson, but I'm just warning you that's a thing that can happen, so you have to be careful.
Yeah, and the more you use it, the more that's going to come up.
The more you get used to it. There are also branches where I could be working on stuff on a single branch, you can work on something on another branch. At the end of the day, we both of our branches are done, it's time to actually merge them back into the main. That's complicated.
This way you only have to worry about one conflict instead of a bunch of conflicts because you guys
All
are
the
constantly
time.
like
Basically, you have to work with the conflict a single time and just go fix everything instead of every single time I push there are merge conflicts. But that is all for external research. What you have seen today is the basic ability to make a Git repository locally, make a Git repository on GitHub, connect the two, and push and pull information from it.
Did anyone have any trouble? Does anyone still have any trouble doing this? Because I'm open to
Does
it.
everyone understand the basic gist of what went on here? I'm going to send out a cheat sheet of the commands that we basically use today. We have git init, which initialize the repo, the repository. Git add everything. Git commit your message. Change this to say message. Git push origin master. Git pull origin master, and there's Git clone. /. These are the 6 commands you use today, excluding your configuration ones you shouldn't have to run again. I will send these out in a handy little cheat sheet, or you can look them up. I'm going to plug one nice thing right now. There's a newer website entitled ohshitgit.com. Whoa! And it has a ton of things, and they just tell you the commands to run for certain problems. There's a lot more advanced stuff than what we went over today. Googling will sometimes help your files, or it will sometimes help your problems. Other times will make your life a lot harder because things are more complicated than they seem. Basically, the internet is your friend for the most part. Use these basic changes. And if you have any questions, feel free to talk to us or anyone else who might know Git before checking the internet, because the internet will give you weird advice sometimes. This website's also nice. So, any last questions about Git before I start wondering where the pizza is because it's 1:30? Yes, David.
I would say having that website was totally worth coming, even though I already know any of Git most.
This website is excellent.
I never knew this site.
What's up?
Plug the CS.
Right, exactly. So, we are not the computer science club, but we have a computer science club here on campus. They're SCSC, and during the semester, they will be doing their own Git day, or Git lesson, which will be a bit more in-depth than this one. We'll help reinforce what you learned here. I don't think it's going to be happening before the first game jam, though keep an eye out for it. I'll make sure I plug it again when it's actually coming up. What they're currently working on is what they're calling bash basics, which is, that command line we were in, how to actually use it. For example, you can move through folders, you can see everything in a folder, there's all this stuff you can learn. If you've ever used Linux or even the Mac terminal, you have the basics, but go to that if you want to learn more about command lines and stuff. And I believe that is the end of our Git lesson, unless anyone has any last questions about anything. If not, thank you very much.